Hello, welcome to my new moon Zen tarot card pull for September. We are in a new moon in Virgo today, and it is gorgeous outside. I have the door open. You might hear some background noise as cars and animals and birds go by outside. It's just so pretty. It's sunshiny, and there's a nice breeze, and the temperature is not too hot. Perfect Virgo weather. So what am I? I am excited to see what this next month is going to bring. There's just so much shifting constantly on our planet, and what I was feeling earlier when I was just tuning into the new moon in Virgo. Is it even a new moon? My friend said that to me this morning. It's a new moon? How'd that happen? It just feels like we're all so in the details, so down in the weeds of what's happening in our reality, because things just went like so quickly. It feels that way, at least since school started, really since the beginning of September. It just feels like everything has gone this way, and it's like being in a field of corn and you can't see like what's happening outside of the corn. All you can see is like how to navigate through this next moment, the next day. And I just sense that many of us are in that same place. And if you find your way to this video, you probably have at least one match to something I'm going to say. And maybe that's the first match. We are tunnel focused right now, so many of us. And my hope, my intention for this card reading is that it'll help us to kind of pull back a little bit and see the bigger picture as I do this. See the bigger picture. Maybe that's how we'll see the bigger picture. Like, maybe. I hope not. I hope it's more like, oh, of course, that's the bigger picture. Yes, that's exactly how I was thinking things were. I don't think it's going to go that way, but there's always the possibility. So I'm going to pull 4 cards. I had to write it down so that I would remember 4 cards. I just finished creating the podcast for this week, which normally I do on Fridays. Today I did it early. I'm headed out of town this weekend with a couple of my friends to celebrate some birthdays. And then I'm back home on Sunday to celebrate my 6th wedding anniversary with my husband. So everything has kind of gotten scooted up a little earlier to make sure that I can get all these nuggets of fun out to you. Yeah, if you don't listen to my podcast, it might be a good time to tune in. There's so much heart work that's being done by everyone, whether we're aware of it or not. Our hearts are just being stretched wider and wider. And sometimes when we hear the stories of others, it helps us navigate what we're going through in our own journey. So you can find the link somewhere with all of the video stuff. There's a link to my podcast. It's called Gaia's Love, and it's episode 360 today. Okay, so let's do some Zen card pulls. I am using, and by the way, this is just for fun. I feel like I have to have this disclaimer every time. I do this for fun. I read energy as my job, and I do the card reading for fun. So it's not going to be as polished and beautiful as so many others that I follow and love. I use my OSHO Zen deck, which I've had for years, and so I know it really well, and I feel familiar with the messages. So I don't have to read as much as if I was trying to do it fresh. And then I will pull from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, which I've heard about from some of the tarot card readers who I follow and love. So I'll pull a couple cards at the end, 1 or 2 from that deck. Okay, so I've already shuffled. I'm just going to divide the deck up. The first question that I am tuning into, or the first contemplation for us, that's a much better word. The first contemplation is, what is the collective now energy? I wrote them down, the questions. That's why I keep looking over here. What is the collective now energy? Oh my God, do we not get this often? It's the completion card. Of course. Third eye. Do you see that third eye puzzle piece being put in place? I can't tell you how many times I've gotten that card this year. There's a theme for 2020. 2020 theme. I'm calling it. This is the theme for the year. You know how people put those memes and cartoon character things about 2020 and it's like disaster? This is 2020. Completion. Third eye, which is about vision, 2020 vision. This is the card. So the reading is done. There's nothing more you need to know. 2020, that's what it's all about. All right, the individual now. I'm going to go to the bottom of the deck because that would be the from the top to the bottom, right? Collective to individual. Oof. Is this not where we are? Schizophrenia, it's trying to hold the balance of being in between, you know? Yeah, there's a lot to say. Well, look at that. That's the individual now. And then the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. I am going to divide the cards and pull in just a moment. The highest possibilities for us in the next lunar cycle. So from now through, what would that be, October? The end of October, middle of October? Moment to moment. Moment to moment. I mean, that's where we are right now, isn't it? Like breathing through moment to moment. Okay, and then I will pull from the shaman deck in a few minutes for some wisdom from our guides. Okay, let's look. I mean, it's good. This is good. This is exactly what's happening. And I feel like when we have an image or when we have someone give us words to describe what we're already feeling as the energy, it helps us tune into it. Like, you know, one of my friends earlier said, everything feels so unknown and we're all sort of dodging the unknown. Yes, but it's like the monster in the closet. You know, when you can't see what's there, you make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it just gets you more and more frightened. When you can bring it down into this thing, right? Like, I feel like I'm moving energy, this thing. And so you're aware that this is actually like a Rubik's Cube. This is what's happening right now on Earth, on Gaia, with humanity. And if I can turn it this way, then the Rubik's Cube is going to settle into a more peaceful pattern. If I keep turning it and turning it, it suddenly is all going to make sense. And I'll have a color of the same, a side of the same color all the way around. But you've got to do some turning of things to get it to that point. And then some people are like, how fast? How fast can I turn the Rubik's Cube? And what I get as the message for us, the highest possibilities, moment to moment, slow it down, be present. Because in each moment, you will know what the next turn is. You will feel like, okay, we got to go this way. Or, right, we got to look at this Rubik's Cube for a moment. I'm using the right word, Rubik's Cube? Isn't that the little thing you turn with all the knobs on it? My brother and I, we learned how to take it apart. We learned how to take it apart and put it back together. We got it so loose because we played with it so many times that we would just take it apart and we put it back together. Thinking about that now is hysterical, especially as I talk about how you got to intuitively feel which way to turn it. Take the whole thing apart, put it all down on the ground, put it back together. That's always a possibility too. Kind of feels like cheating, you know. I think what we're supposed to do is trust our intuition and hold it in place and turn it together. So what was I saying? Oh, that's funny. My mind just went blank. Yeah, we were talking about what's going on right now. The Rubik's Cube, turning, trusting your intuition is what we were talking about. That was funny. I got lost back into my brother and I taking it apart. I'm gonna have to send him a little note and remind him that we would do that. Oh, that's funny. All right, completion. So let's talk about what's actually happening here. Like I said, I'm not the polished card reader. Okay, completion. This is the collective now. So let's begin with Virgo energy. My mouse is funny. I have Virgo everywhere around me. It's not in my chart, but it's everywhere. Like all of my significant people just about have Virgo somewhere in their charts, like rising moon or sun. And so I'm very familiar with the beauty and the precision of Virgo energy. And so what I see with this is how, let's say this is the Virgo hand, the new moon in Virgo. I'm not sure I'm talking. The new moon in Virgo is like, I know exactly where it goes. It goes right here. And how do I know? because all the other pieces are already in place, and this is the one that isn't in place yet. So this is where it goes. Do you see that this is where it goes? But then there's still, you have to make it fit. You have to place it. And so this is what we're wrestling with, what we're struggling with collectively. You know, can we Vision was the guy I was talking about last time, wasn't it? The character from the Avengers movie where he has this, maybe it was on a Sunday call, but he has this like jewel in the center of his forehead, and it holds all of the information. And if that jewel's taken out, he dissolves. He no longer exists. And that's what I sense for this. We have been functioning as a collective humanity in this level. Oh, I have mouth, I can speak, nose, I can breathe, eyes, I can see, a body, a face, you know, like I have this human form, and this is what's real. And now there's this placement of the third eye, this waking up of the third eye, where we're being, I mean, is this new moon in Virgo energy? Is this our guides, our soul? Is this the universe? Is this God? Like, what is this that's put, is it us individually, or this is the collective now? What's happening here is this placement, this it's already there, it's not a placement, this awakening of our intuitive knowing, of our ability to see without our physical eyes, to see what we know in inherent, the words, I'm trying to find the right words. It's like when, like if we were to imagine going out into the universe would be black. It would be just this blackness, this void of everything, everything in there. But we would know where to go. We wouldn't need human eyes. We would be energy, souls, consciousness, knowing how to navigate that darkness. There's this inherent ability within each of us that is the soul guiding the human path, showing our physical eyes, like this, do this thing, go this way. I'm like leaning in your face again. Let me lean back a little. That's the intensity of what I sense happening collectively. It's like all of us are aware that something is shifting, but we're so in the weeds, the cornfield, looking at all this, that we don't want to look up, or we're afraid to look up, or we're too busy and overwhelmed to look up and go, whoa, what's happening here? What is going on? What do I actually see, believe to be true? And so I get the sense that this completion is happening in all different waves, in all different times for different individuals. So it's like being in the cornfield. You know, you might be over here in the cornfield, and your friend is over there, and your partner's over there, and your kids are over there, and everyone's in the cornfield. But it doesn't mean we're all going to lift our heads at the exact same time and go, oh, I'm in the cornfield, and is there a sky? What is the sky? Is there a universe beyond the sky? How does this cornfield fit into the whole universe? We don't always look up and awaken at the same time. And yet at some point, I believe, we're all going to have a realization that we're in this cornfield. We can't see clearly because all we see are the corn stalks in and around us, holding us here. At some point, I believe we're all going to start to look up, start to wonder, what else is there? What else is there? It can't just be a cornfield. There must be an ocean. There must be a valley. There must be a mountain. It can't all be cornfield. So how do I start to follow that guidance to like look up? And so if you're watching this video, me doing my thing I do here, it's just so like silly and fun, and also so true. This is me saying to you, it's time to look up. Look up. Look up. And whatever that means to you. Maybe look up means you go outside. It's a new moon tonight. Maybe you go outside and you look at the stars. When the moon is new, it means we don't see it. I'm looking now like I can see the stars, but it's daylight. Tonight I will look at the stars. This weekend I will look at the stars. When we don't have the moon with all of that brilliant spotlight, where that's where our attention goes, we start to see all these other stars, and the sky just opens up in front of us. I believe in civilizations long ago, that was entertainment. We didn't turn on any sort of TV or screen or read a book. There was no light. So we would go lay on the ground, I'm sure, and look at the stars and make up stories and create adventures and constellations and all kinds of magical things. And we probably trusted our intuition more than when we would wake up in the morning, we probably would say, feels like maybe I should go work on the crops today because I think rain is coming. We wouldn't look at our phone like I did this morning and go, what's the weather, please? Oh, it's going to be a little chilly tonight. It's going to be warm and sunny all day. Great. We didn't function in that way. We were one and connected and trusting that intuition. But we've gotten very, as a humanity, very down in the weeds, down in the cornstalk, and trusting, looking down at our phones, our books, our computers. And I'm saying this to myself as much as to you. So it hasn't been wrong. And yet what I sense for the collective now is it's changing. It's changing. And how miraculous is this, that we're all going to be able to trust our third eye. We're all, I need to show you vision. We're all going to have that little jewel in the center of our forehead start to like send out signals and beam energy to other individuals and souls. How many times have I said this in the space? Souls are going to feel that call, that pull to be with others because it's just magnetically happening. So I celebrate this card being the collective now. Yes, please, my Virgo friends and loves. Third eye, puzzle piece, put it in. Yeah, that feels like plenty for the collective now. Okay, the individual now, schizophrenia. Oh, this card. So, yeah, before I say this, what I most want to say is there's levels. There's a continuum of pain, of suffering. When I see this card and I read the word schizophrenia, my heart hurts because I know how legitimate and real that feeling is of not being able to hold it together, not being able to get out of that feeling of being split, divided. And I know the reality of that in what we would call the mental health world, or you know, the reality of what many are experiencing. And so I don't bring this card in here lightly and laugh at schizophrenia. I bring it in with a lot of pain and a lot of empathy of how real this feels. So I feel like I'm bringing the tone of this into a really serious place because it feels serious to me. And by serious, I mean from the human side. You know, the human side, this is real, and perhaps the blue feels like suffering and confusion and not knowing, and collectively we have a lot of that. And yet the soul is this infinite consciousness that exists and continues and expands and goes into other experiences. The knowing within each one of us is real. This is all just what we're experiencing right now in the human journey. And the human journey will end and we will still be this. And it will continue from lifetime to lifetime, or planet to planet, whatever you choose to do. So when I bring this card in, my throat is tight and sore. I've lost loved ones to depression and to mental illness. And so this card coming up at this time is, it's a lot and it's very powerful. And so I name that. So schizophrenia, what this card describes is, and it talks about this number 2, right? It's feeling like you can't let go of this reality because you'll just fall down if you let your feet go. You can't let go of this reality because you'll fall down if you let your hands go. So you try to keep the two realities connected by stretching yourself so thin, so up in the air. There's such a sense of I can't let go of either end, and that feeling is just something, unless someone's in it, we can't understand it. We can never know what it feels like to be in someone else's shoes, and this card talks to me about that. So I'm going to read to you from the book, because I think Osho definitely has a better way of describing it than what I'm able to access in this moment for you. So I think we will defer. Where is the card? Sorry, I never know which ones I'm going to pull, so I don't have the descriptions ready to go. Okay, let me read to you what Osho says about schizophrenia. So this is also the card I pulled for the individual. If collectively we are completing and activating our third eyes and remembering, awakening, starting to look out of the cornfield and see what the reality is, you can imagine individually, we're all trying to figure out, are we here in the cornfield? Are we supposed to be up in the sky? Are we supposed to be somewhere else? What is happening? And the third eye lighting up, waking up, can be so disorienting and uncomfortable for individuals. And this card was for the individual. So there is a lot of this feeling that is happening for many. So here's what it says. Let me see what it says. I'm going to read the commentary part. Okay, so it says, the person on this card brings a new twist to the old idea of getting stuck between a rock and a hard place. But we are in precisely this sort of situation when we get stuck in the indecisive and dualistic aspect of the mind. Should I let my arms go and fall head first, or let my legs go and fall feet first? Should I go here or there? Should I say yes or no? And whatever decision we make, we will always wonder if we should have decided the other way. The only way out of this dilemma is, unfortunately, to let go of both at once. You can't work your way out of this one by solving it, by making lists of pros and cons, or in any way working it out with your mind. Better to follow your heart if you can find it. If you can't find it, just jump. Your heart will start beating so fast, there will be no mistake about where it is. This card reminds me of the trust card, which I don't know when we've had that one last, but the trust card shows this figure just free falling, just arms back and free falling into this blue sky. And what you sense at the bottom, there's this like pink cotton candy color at the bottom. It's like they're going to just land in this sweet space. And it's more just the letting go that is so frightening. It's the just trusting that there is something that is going to hold you as you fall. And there's clouds. Look, there's clouds in this one too, down here. And we don't see what's at the bottom. You know, we can't see what's there. It's that unknown again. Remember I was talking about the monster in the closet, and it gets bigger and bigger because you can't see it. It feels like that here. Like what is actually at the bottom of this? We don't know. And I would imagine this one could probably see what's down there. Also, intuitively, if you have that third eye activation, you would know. You would know what's down there. And so the guidance is let go, because your heart will start feeling that rush, that activation. And then that beating will be an opening for something. So individually, what would I offer you about this card? I did a podcast 2 weeks ago. It's called Surrendering, and this is what I would offer you. And in that podcast, I talked about my own resistance to opening my heart more and what some of my blocks have been or my stories have been, and then how to allow the energy to move through the awareness of what the story was. It was a very vulnerable, what is the word vulnerable? It was very transparent. It was a transparent podcast where I talked about how my journey has gone with my heart and with relationships and with decisions. And so there may be some nuggets in there for you. If you're feeling like you're caught between two places, you're suspended in midair, you don't know what to do. Is it even going to work if you let go of both, and where will you go? That's the feeling of the heart chakra expanding. It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. For my, I keep saying, if my third eye in this completion card gets activated, so I look up and I see that there's a sky and this reality here of this cornfield, there's something more, and I'm looking up. Can you see what that does to your heart, to your chest? It's like you're looking up and everything starts to open. And I think there's probably yoga poses that can also help us do that. The heart starts to open, and when the heart opens, often we want to do this. We want to come back in, we want to close it up, and it's very, again, vulnerable, transparent, scary to have the heart be open. In past lifetimes, we would have probably gotten stabbed, or we wouldn't have even perhaps had that because we would have had armor covering our heart chakra. But we live in a time now where there's so much support, there's so much there's such access to community. Even with COVID, with people being quarantined, if you have a phone, if you have a computer, if you can walk out the door and wave at your neighbor, there's still community. There's still a way to connect with others. And that would be my second suggestion. If this individual now feels like you, start connecting. Trust that there's someone down here who will hear you and see you and help you. Maybe they can't catch you, but maybe they could put a little trampoline, and so you'll jump, you'll land and you'll jump a little bit, and then you can flop down on the trampoline. And then they could stand there and talk to you, and we could wear masks and it would be okay, but you're not doing this thing by yourself. This human journey, it's like this. There's two. There's this one and there's this one. And this one is helping this one activate the third eye. This one isn't, I don't think it's this one's hand, because look at the colors here and look at that color. They feel like two very different energies. There's someone helping us. There's some energy supporting us. And if you aren't super confident in humans, then connect to your source, connect to God, connect to the universe. Look at the stars. Let the stars talk to you, because they will. They will talk to you. My phone just beeped. They will talk to you. But you have to go be outside and look at them in order for them to talk to you. So you can lay under the stars and you can go, it's almost like you're rolling around and you're looking up now instead of looking down. Or maybe you're so high you're looking down on the stars. I don't know. What if you could roll around and back float for a moment and look up? And these little birds flying in the air can translate and can tell you, like, this is what the stars would say. And I believe the stars would say, love is infinite. Energy continues. There's always something more. Whatever you let go into, something more will evolve from that. So connect, reach out, support, allow support. And then the highest possibilities for our lunar cycle we are starting. Moment to moment, my friends, which is also a card number 2. Isn't that sweet? And look at all the color in this. Look at the waves. This is what's so beautiful about this card. Look at all the waves of energy around this figure. The description, it talks about how this one is just moving from one step to the next, not, my finger looks big there, not looking down, looking straight ahead, balancing right and left, and then trusting there's going to be another stone. And as soon as where's the foot? The foot's back here. As soon as I take this foot and put it here, I know there's going to be a stone waiting to catch me or to land on. And then I'm going to pick this one up, and I know there's another stone, but I'm not looking to see that the stones are there. I trust. So I imagine, as I lean back again, I imagine this figure here has an activated third eye. He or she just knows there's going to be a stone. And when I step, there it is. And I'm not going to worry about 5 steps down there. Is there a stone? Or does the path go that way or that way? Or is the path going down or up? Am I going up into the sky? Am I staying here? Like, what am I doing? This one is just saying, right now, I'm steady. And I'm going to balance myself. And I'm going to keep looking straight ahead. And I'm going to feel all these waves of energy around me. And I'm going to put my foot down, and there's going to be another step. Isn't that an awesome way to be and to move through life? It's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see very well, but like there's just so much in, there you go. There's so much in the card with all of the waves and the colors. It's like all these multidimensional rainbows just surrounding this figure who's only focused. In fact, now the eyes are open and there's a smile. I didn't know if the eyes were closed. This figure is just moving from step to step, and you can see also the white and the black, the duality represented in this figure. But look at all that's happening around. You know, some might say it's sort of chaotic around that figure, and so how do you stay focused when there's all that chaos and noise and activity and color and stuff? But it's beautiful. Can you see the beauty in that chaos? There's an amazing instrumental piece called, what is it called? Love is in the beauty and the chaos. I'd have to look for the title of it. But it says that, like, beauty and chaos are in the title of the song. They coexist. They work together. I think I just got an email actually from Astro Butterfly that said something about that. You can see chaos or you can see order. And specifically for this new moon in Virgo, you can see it as chaos or you can see it as natural progression and order. And how you see it is going to determine how you receive it, how you engage with it. And so this one is like, I don't know, just going to keep moving forward and putting my foot down on another step. And yeah, there's a lot going on around me, but it's okay. Another exclamation mark. But it's all okay because I'm just going to keep my focus on what I'm doing. And that's the best description of moment to moment. So our guides are not our guides. This is really just me. I'm offering to you the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle are just be present. Be present in each moment. Be as in the beauty and the chaos of the moment as possible. Keep your balance, right? Steady yourself, straighten yourself, put your arms out, keep your balance. Left and right, feminine and masculine, giving and receiving, stillness and action. All of that is equilibrium. That's the word, equilibrium. Find your equilibrium. Activate that third eye and trust. There's another step. Here it is. I'm going to step onto this one. Oh, there's another step. It's coming. It's right there. And just navigate through your life that way. Quit trying to control, plan, organize. It's not working. The plans aren't working because there's so much movement of energy. Look at all that stuff that's happening. How do we know what's going to happen before the end of this year? We don't. So quit trying to figure it out and control it and just be in your own body and balance yourself and move one step to the next. My guidance for you. Now, I will offer you guidance from my guides and your guides, whoever's guides are, hanging out here. And by the way, this tea, I just want to pause for a moment. This cup is from my friend, Lisa Hildebrand, who I absolutely adore beyond all belief. And inside, what you can't taste is what I am tasting. She made the specific blend that she calls Bliss. I think she's out of it, so I'm sorry. I have the last cup of Bliss tea. Not the last one, because I have a little envelope upstairs with more of it, and I'm going to make more cups of Bliss tea. But I put in a little bit of honey with it. It's incredible. It tastes so good and it makes me so happy. And so I want to say in this moment, thank you, Lisa, for my bliss tea. It is divine. Divine. In this moment, this tea is bringing me the most beautiful equilibrium. And it's necessary before I bring you a message from our guide. That sounds like a TV commercial. Now, let's turn our attention to a message from our guides, which are going to come from this deck. I mean, look at the third eye in that. Whoa, right? Whoa. Whoa. There is a lot of possibility for us here. Okay, I am specifically calling in my guides, who are always here hanging out with me all the time anyway, for whatever wisdom they want to share, and then the guides of those who want to support what I have just received as this message and shared with you. The guides who want to support that just popped me 2 cards. So beautiful. You're going to love these. I don't know this deck as well, so I'm just going to tell you what I see about it. Okay, first one is the Hunter card, number 27. And then the second one is the Flow card, number 20, which, by the way, is the intention that my friends have for this birthday weekend that we're about to step into. Flow, flow, flow. So my guides are like, go forth and flow. Yeah. So this one came through first. Let's talk about this, and I'm going to say whatever words come through because they are mine as well as my guides and your guides. The Hunter card. So 2 and a 7 adds up to a 9. 9 is also the number of completion in my understanding of it, the way I express it. And I feel like what this card is saying to me is whatever you're seeing first or focusing on can guide you through this completion phase. So if you see the bear first, look up bear animal totem and see what the bear offers you. If you see, this looks to me like a peacock over here. I don't have my glasses on. Feels like a peacock. So I'm going to name it peacock energy. If you see that first, then look up peacock animal medicine, see what that means to you. Here I see antlers. So whatever those antlers mean for you, it could be all kinds of different animals. So trust whichever one you hear first and then look up that animal totem. What else do I see in here? The moon. So to me, this means this is a full moon. So between now and the full moon, I think what they're talking about is this hunter energy is going to be really active for you in the next 2 weeks. And I'm going to read a little bit from the card. I also see like this, it looks like a dream catcher or a wheel of fortune here, kind of tucked in with all of this other activity. Whichever nugget popped for you first, like that's the thing you saw that's the thing you saw first. Do a little investigation, reading, trust, just put in Google, what does this mean? What does this represent? And then see what shows up and allow your guides, my guides, to send you some extra information, some extra messages that are just for you. So it's not about me telling you what this card means. It's you activating your third eye. What do you see in here? And where is that journey going to take you? Let's see if I can bring it a little closer so you can look at it. Maybe there's something more that you see that I don't see. Yep. Good. Maybe as I pull it back, you'll see something different. What I also get is there's so much going on. And so start your deeper inquiry into the thing that pops first, and then maybe come back, see what else you see, go look at that. As you can untangle all of the elements in here, you're going to be able to see it from a different perspective, and then you will be able to move into more flow. So let me read to you from the Hunter, just because it may offer a little more guidance. But this really is about your third eye being activated and you trusting what you understand and see, not so much what I'm telling you. The first part of the reading was about what I was telling you. This part, it's about you. All right, so for the Hunter card. Before the dawn of agriculture, we hunted in the forest to feed our kin. The hunter never takes more than what the village needs to survive, often taking only one creature, the good kill. He is a master tracker who knows which path to follow to find success. Master tracker, knowing which path to follow, third eye activation. The invitation is so true. Here's what they say. Rely on your own skills to traverse the thick forest you're in to reach your destination. That's so good. You need to follow the tracks left by spirit to claim your bounty, which is already prepared and being offered to you. Let me say that again. You need to follow. This is from your guide, not me. You need to follow the track left by spirit to claim your bounty, which is already prepared and being offered to you. It's already all here and it's yours. It's already yours. You just need to claim it. And the only way you're gonna be able to claim it is trusting your own guidance to get to it. Do not follow the maps drawn by others, as they will not lead you true. Instead, become the map maker. Find your internal compass and use all your senses, including your common sense. I mean, these guides are pretty specific when they bring a message. So how cool is that? So that's the first one. Once you are in this inquiry and trusting your own guidance, then comes flow. Flow. I love this card. I think Santera just used it recently, and I was like, oh, that card is so beautiful. So what do I know about it? Well, there's a full moon again, which there's a couple full moons, but to me, they're just more symbolic. I think this can happen immediately. This could happen tonight. On the new moon, it can happen before the full moon. It can happen anytime. What I sense from her is, and this is a feminine image, but if we're looking at balance, this feels kind of masculine action. This feels like magical feminine. So balance is both. But what I sense from this one is how her third eye is creating all of this non-physical looking stuff. Like her third eye is as powerful as her physical eyes. In fact, this crown could almost be like an extension of her third eye going into her crown and up into the sky, helping like an antenna, helping her see the cornfields, seen out of the cornfields into the sky. But I feel like all this movement from her, and her hand is creating it. Here, look, see her lower hand and her upper hand? In fact, isn't that how I started our call? I was doing this, right? Like, how cool is that? That feels like our guide saying, yes, look at things from a different perspective. Pause the Rubik's Cube, be in the moment, see it. What is there to know? And then make your next move. Stretch things out. Don't be so constrained. Open up your perspective. That's what she's doing, right? She's manipulating is the wrong word. She's guiding the flow of this energy through her space. And it's with purpose. Like she's watching what she's doing with intention. And then what is all this, right? There's so much in this card. Let me bring it a little closer so you can see it. And then trust your own intuition. What do you see? What pulls at your attention? And what is there for you to know about it? What does flow mean to you? Not just what it means to me. What does it mean to you? And also, 2020, just saying. It's so cool. It's so cool. I'm going to leave it there. I feel like you've gotten lots of nuggets that you can take and explore on your own. And it's a new month. And well, it's a new lunar month. It's a new energy, new moon in Virgo. There's lots of possibilities. And so I encourage you, trust your path, trust yourself, and then allow others to support you and to play and to connect and to be in this experience with you. Don't feel like you have to do it by yourself. All right, I'm going to go make a new moon meditation, which I already sense is going to be about looking out of the cornfield up at the sky, seeing what's there. So if you feel like, you know, you're kind of ready for that to happen, and you would really like to be in the moment to moment, then perhaps you want to join me in the meditation. I will put a link to it in the video when I upload it. And then I'll see you in a month for another video. Happy new moon.